Number 3, find the quadratic equation whose roots are z1 and z2. So this one is very easy. We are given what? Roots. So what we do, we know from quadratic equation, which is in the form of sum and product, where we have z squared minus sz plus p equal to 0, where s is sum, and that s is z1 plus z2, and p is product, where p is z1 times z2. So now, what will be sum and what will be product? Our sum is z1 plus z2. So z1 is 2 minus I, and z2 is I plus I. So you see, our sum is 2. So what is product? z1 times z2. So our product is z1 times z2, which is 2 minus I into bracket I. So the answer is 2I. I times negative I, that is negative I squared, which is 1. So now product is 1 plus 2I. This is our product. So now, what will be our quadratic equation? It will be z squared minus sz plus p equal to 0. So our s is 2. Our p is 1 plus 2I. So that quadratic equation is z squared minus 2z plus 1 plus 2I equal to 0. So this is the required quadratic equation. This is required quadratic equation. That is the required quadratic equation. So let me give you exercise in order to help you to understand how we solve what? Quadratic equations. So exercise number 1. Solve in the set of complex number. Solve in the set of complex numbers. Solve in the set of complex numbers the equations. The following equations. So we have A, which is z squared plus 2 minus I into bracket z minus 2I equal to 0. We have B, which is iz squared minus 2 into bracket 2 plus I z plus 4 minus 3I equal to 0. We have C, which is 1 minus I into bracket z squared minus into bracket 6 minus 4I z plus 9 minus 7I equal to 0. So after doing the exercise, we'll go to the polynomials. So now try this exercise, then after exercise, we're going to start what? Polynomials. Okay, let us go to polynomials in a set of complex numbers. Up any polynomial, it is in this form of a power n, an, z power n minus 1, z power n minus 1, up to a constant number equal to 0. So we're going to see how we can factorize that polynomial, how we can solve a polynomial. That's what we're going to see. For example, Examples, number one is saying that factorize the polynomial. That polynomial is P of Z. And that P of Z is 3Z power 4 minus 5Z power 3 plus 5Z squared minus 5Z plus 2. So we're going to factorize that polynomial. This is a polynomial of degree 4. So we're going to solve that polynomial. So how do we factorize that polynomial? Remember, in a set of real number, we also did polynomial. How we can factorize a polynomial? Remember that what we do, we find what? We start by finding a factor or a root. So here, it is the same. We have to start by finding what? Roots that can satisfy this equation. So our PZ is 3Z power 4 minus 5Z power 3 plus 5Z squared minus 5Z plus 2. Then, what we're going to do here, we're going to let like Z equal to 1. So if Z is 1, we see if it can satisfy what? It can satisfy that equation. So is PZ will be equal to 0? P of 1 will be equal to 0. That is our question. If P of 1 is 0, it means that this Z will be what? A root. So P of 1, the answer will be 3, 1 power 4, minus 5, 1 power 3, plus 5, 1 squared, minus 5, 1, plus 2. So then P of 1, the answer is 1 power 4, that is 1, that's 3, because 3 times 1 is 3. 1 power 3 is 1, that is minus 5. 1 power 2, that is 1, then that's 5, minus 5 plus 2. So the answer here is this 5 goes with that 5. 3 plus 2, that is 5. 5 minus 5, the answer is 0. Since P of 1 is 0, so it means that 1 is a root of P of Z. So one is root of P of Z. So we can use like synthetic division to find other roots. So now there we have Z, and our root is 1. We have coefficient of Z power 4, it is 3. Coefficient of Z power 3, it is negative 5. Coefficient of Z squared is 5. Coefficient of Z is negative 5. With a constant is 2. So bring this 3 here. 3 times 1, that is 3. This is negative 5 plus 3, that is negative 2. Negative 2 times 1, that is negative 2. This is 3. 3 times 1, that is 3. That's negative 2. Negative 2 times 1, that is negative 2. Here we get what? 0. So meaning that our PZ becomes, if 1 is a root, it means that Z equal to 1. That's the root. Our factor is Z minus 1, which is 0. So our factor is Z minus 1. So here it will be Z minus 1 into bracket. So we started with z power 4. So meaning here it will be z power 3. So which is 3z power 3 minus 2z squared plus 3z minus 2. So now, this is power 3. We're going to factorize this polynomial. So let us factorize this, which is 3z power 3 minus 2z squared plus 3z minus 2. We let this one to be 0 in order to find a factor or a root. Let us be equal to 0. So let us also find, we let z to be equal to what? To 1. We see if it can satisfy what? This equation. If we find that z equal to 1 cannot, we will take another root. So that's 3 into 1 power 3 minus 2 into 1 squared plus 3 into 1 minus 2. Is this one equal to 0? So this is 3, because one binary number is 1, minus 2 plus 3 minus 2. So this is 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4, it is 2, and 2 is different from 0. So meaning that z equal to 1 is not what? A root. So let us try to find another root. Let us try to find another root of this one.